Now, how about them damn Celtics?
And we are back with another episode of How About Them Celtics. Sam and I are here recording Saturday, December 13th. Celtics still in this little NBA Cup break. Lost their last game to the Bucks. Play tomorrow, as you're listening to this, against the Pistons at home. And then we'll be back to a relatively normal schedule. But how you doing, Sam?
Doing good. Excited for the show today. Kind of enjoying the break, to be honest with you. Like, I'm sure nobody's probably enjoying it more than Jack, who's just bounced around all season from city to city and done the back-to-backs and everything. So, like, having a breather is probably nice. But, we're still sifting through the news here. We got a little bit of something for you guys today. A little bit of a Celtics trade plan update from an insider. A little Jayson Tatum update. And we'll talk about the Celtics' offensive rebounding strengths, which I saw on Twitter today they are ranked 4th in. So certainly helping them win games. We'll dissect it a bit. We'll go through your emails. We'll go around the NBA, the standings. We have a great rat list for you today, special guest on the rat list, and a little spoiler warning for the rat list or rat list warning. Not suitable for children in a unique way. Not suitable for children. So just be aware of that. We warned you. We'll warn you again beforehand, but not suitable. And then we'll get out of here. It's going to be a fun show. Stick around through all of it. I'm sure that was a great tease. Everybody's like, "What kind of?"
For context, it is not safe for work, but
No, it's yeah. You listen to this at work. Nobody's going to be offended.
You say that, it sounds like we're saying like ridiculous swears and like cursing.
Stick around to find out.
You'll understand. Celtic stuff though. Brian Windhorst, Windy, was on Threads, did a little Q&A, was asked about the Celtics' potential center search, trade season, etc. Said, well, Zubac is absolutely not available and absolutely not a stretch big. So kind of killing that dream a little bit. But yes, this is an area where Boston needs to replenish after losing Porzingis and Horford, and they will be looking for opportunities. So basically, like, keep an eye out on the Celtics this trade deadline. I still hesitate to believe the Celtics are going to buy wholly. I think it's more going to be, can they get something and shave money? I don't think they're going to be fully in on buying right now, but at least this leaves at least a little bit of hope that they could add a center at the deadline.
Yeah, I think like the 15-10 start, or really 15-9 before the loss the other day, was inspiring enough for the front office to be like, what if there was just a little bit more depth at the center spot on this team? And depth is the operative word, right? Like this insight from Windy does not indicate that the Celtics are going to go out there and try and eclipse Nemi in the rotation, right? They may just look to put someone behind him because during this recent hot stretch Boston's been on, they have heavily leaned into the Minot-led small ball lineup. And the small ball lineup is great, but it's not going to work against every opponent. You're not going to be able to get away with it against everybody. And if that's the case, you want to have another center on the team that you feel like you can depend on. And from what Joe Mazzulla has told us through his rotations, that is not Garza. They don't seem to believe in him right now. I'm not saying that his Celtics career is dead, because there have been flashes of positivity with Garza that have been like, oh yeah, that's what he does. He has a nice little niche that he fits into, but he's not a perfect fit. He's not a perfect backup, and he could eventually develop into a backup. Like Luke Cornett is somebody who's just the easiest person to point to for this. When he first got to the Celtics after leaving the Celtics via trade or whatever, like he was traded here and then went away and bounced around some 10 days, then ended up back here. When he came back that time, he wasn't ready for rotation minutes. It took him time to become the guy that got $40 million from the Spurs as a free agent. It doesn't happen overnight. Some guys are project type players. That could be the case for Garza. With that being said, focusing on this season, it's not happening this year for him. So whether it be, it feels like Brooklyn is the best place to go shopping for a center right now. You have Nick Claxton, you have Day'Ron Sharpe. Day'Ron Sharpe's a name that's actually been linked to the Celtics. Michael Scotto reported it last month when it was like, hey, over the summer, they were interested in bringing him in and trying to find a way to bring him in. It didn't happen. But if they do decide that they want to make a lower budget trade, his contract is one that's not entirely impossible to reach. Claxton, however, is also easy to reach in terms of salary, but maybe not as easy to convince the Nets to send right over. It would be Anthony Simons. Then you'd have to find some other stuff to get Brooklyn excited about the trade, But those are two options. Those are two different caliber players. And if I woke up tomorrow to a notification that either one of them had been traded here, I wouldn't be shocked in terms of, oh, why would you do that? But it doesn't feel like it's necessarily close to happening, just for context.
Yeah, it's interesting because I don't know exactly what direction the Celtics would want to go in with the center. Like you see Wendy talking about, a stretch big is kind of what they're looking for. I wonder how much of that is like something he knows.
The stretch big piece of this is the guy was like, should they go get a stretch big like Zubac? This was part of a Q&A. So the person that prompted him asked about a stretch big.
Okay, that makes more sense. I don't hate the idea of stretch big. That being said, like I think it could help, and I think Garza actually gave him some okay minutes playing stretch big when he was a part of the rotation. I don't know what that type of trade looks like. I think it'd be kind of hard to find one. I think Bobby Portis, ironically, is a pretty decent backup stretch big option for the Celtics, although it'd be kind of hard to acquire him. I don't really know how it would work and what the salary going in and out and what third team would get involved, et cetera, would look like. I think any of the net centers would be fine. Noah Clowney's been good, but it probably means he's going to be more expensive. Nick Claxton, I wouldn't hate. Obviously, Wendy said Zubac's probably not available, but would be a guy that could be intriguing for the Celtics to take a look at. It's hard because, like, I don't know how many teams are going to have, centers openly available to trade. And the whole point of what the Celtics have wanted to do all season is to shed money. And in doing that, it kind of feels like that they're going to, have to get a third team involved in a lot of these deals. Somebody interesting that hasn't played a lot this season, but has been good in past years. Kevon Looney's on the Pelicans, kind of like out of their rotation.
He's getting DNPs.
Yeah, if you talk about rebounding, like that's a guy who could come in and probably give you some decent defensive rebounding, offensive rebounding minutes behind Nemi. And he's on. I don't think he's on a terrible contract either. I think he just re-signed to a relatively cheap deal. Let me double check before I speak.
Looney?
Yeah, he's this year, next year, $8 million, and next year's a team option. So if they didn't like him, they could get rid of him, or they could re-sign him and have him as a trade candidate piece. Sacramento today, I don't know if they have any bigs. I'm just looking around the league at like potential selling teams to see, who could potentially be available.
Yeah, Bobby Portis. Interesting poll. Makes sense. He doesn't make a ton of money. He's on 13.4 this season, under contract through the 27 season with a player option in the 28 season for $15.5 million. Getting to him, maybe this is the Anthony Simons is a good fit for Milwaukee deal, but it feels a little different now that Giannis is like, maybe I'm not going to be here.
Yeah.
But with that being said, Bobby Portis shooting 47% from three this year. Like, as annoying as it was to watch the Celtics game on Thursday, not just against them, he's been shooting the shit out the ball, and he would be a unique option. He's a little undersized, but definitely a good energy guy. He was annoying the other day. Fans here would definitely gravitate towards him. Like, they love energy guys. They would respond to it. He's become a fan favorite in Milwaukee. I could see something, but he is like a weird middle slot salary where if it's not Simons, it's probably going to have to be Hauser. And if that's something the front office doesn't really want to touch upon, then it probably doesn't happen.
Yeah. Another guy who's been getting some DMPs, like Kevon Looney, Dario Saric hasn't played this season in Sacramento. He wasn't great last year in Denver. He was pretty good 2 years ago in Golden State. Maybe it's just he's not good enough to play anymore. And if that's the case, then obviously the Celtics shouldn't do anything. But some of these like take a chance guys on cheap contracts, I feel like could make some sense if Boston did want to get active and potentially look for some centers. Jalen Smith in Chicago is another one. Jock Lawndale or somebody out in Memphis, Brandon Clark, even though he's hurt. So some guys, if they really wanted to like splash a little bit, I don't know what the Grizzlies are doing. I don't really know what their like game plan is for the trade deadline. Like, are they selling? Are they not selling? Are they trying to get? I don't know what they're doing. Right.
Right.
Who knows? If the Celtics did want to make a splash, Santi Aldama, I think would be a pretty good fit. 6'10", space of the floor, can create a little bit. maybe more of a forward than a center, but can definitely give you center minutes. But again, like, where does that leave Boston in terms of trading? Because if they are selling, like, are they really going to want Anthony Simon's contract? And maybe the answer is yes, it's expiring. They can get off Santi Aldama's contract, but I don't think there's any indication that they don't like Aldama. Or Aldama. I don't know. It's probably inevitably going to be a center we haven't talked about. So I don't know what the point is.
Aldama is an interesting one. I may be way off on this. First of all, he's younger than I thought he was. 2, he gives me like fear of a Chris Boucher redo, where it's like a guy that's in between being a forward and a center and doesn't quite have the chops to be out there as a 5. I know on Spot Track specifically, he is listed as a center. So there's a fair chance that I'm just stupid and wrong about this.
He's played 88% of the minutes at power forward this season, though. So that's the context. But
okay, so I'm not completely off. His contract goes through this season, next season with a team option the third season. It's 18-4 or 18-5 this year, 17 the next 2, with of course the team option the third year. This could be an Anthony Simons, like you cut salary and bring this guy in instead, and probably has more use for you than Anthony does, but with the same kind of trap that Boucher has fallen into, where he's not the player that Aldama is. Aldama is a better player than Boucher, in all fairness. But you run into would you take minutes away from? Who are you taking minutes away from to put Aldama out there? Is he just a more impressive small ball 5 than not?
I think the problem is we're talking about it in the context of taking away minutes. It's just another guy you have to play minutes, and I don't think we can look at everything in the context of this season. I think Aldama would be an objectively better fit than probably like a Josh Minott and a Baylor Shireman and some of these guys who are getting these fringe minutes on a Jayson Tatum, Jaylen Brown team that's complete. Like, I just think his height, his scoring, his ability to work off the dribble, his 3-point shooting, like his ability to shoot those is better than Josh Minott, is better than Baylor Shireman, is better than a lot of these guys. And you would be able to have an actual backup center on the roster, which is useful in a lot of contexts. Like, I don't like, we're talking about trading for people and we're saying he's an objectively better player than most of the guys in their rotation outside of like the big guys, outside of the starting lineup. He just is. So I just think he would be an upgrade over Minott, over Shireman, over Garza, over, just having a backup center you can actually play. Yeah.
I wasn't sure exactly how tall he was. So that is a little bit different. Like, just for context with that, he's 2 inches taller than Garza. He's not a big body like Garza, but he's got a little height on him. And one of the things that made Kornet such an impressive player with Boston is that he was tall enough to make an impact. I know anytime we talk about Garza comparing him to Kornet, people will be like, well, yeah, he's shorter than Kornet. He's not the same size. So I don't think Aldama is a Kornet type player, but he's not a bad player by any means. And you would have him under contract. It would be
it is a bit expensive, right? Like, maybe it's too expensive and the Celtics don't want to do that, but I do think those are the types of players. Like, I wouldn't hate Washington or Gafford in Dallas either. I think both of those would be fine players if we're talking about longer contracts. But I think most of what the Celtics are going to try to do this season is, if they do add a big, it's going to be in a trade that they shed salary, at least based on everything we've seen them do, like reading the tea leaves.
Well, yeah, that part of it is like, if you can find a way where it's Simons for any of those guys and you're saving money to get below the first apron and perhaps a luxury tax, you're really like just winning. Like that is, you killed 2 birds with 1 stone type of talk.
Yeah. But we'll see. Like I said, it's probably going to be somebody none of us have ever talked about. But before we do continue, I want to tell you guys.
No, I'm kidding. Go ahead. Do the ad read.
Before we continue, I want to tell you guys about PrizePicks, the best place to get real money sports action this football season, whatever season you are into. This episode is brought to you by PrizePicks. It's the holiday season, the best time of year for sports, bowl games, basketball matchups, playoff pushes, all happening at once. And while you and I are out here making decisions every day, like what gifts to buy, what to eat, and what game to watch, there's one place where it feels good to be right: on PrizePicks. PrizePicks offers stacks now, which means you can pick the same player up to 3 times in the same lineup. If you want the more on Jaylen Brown's points, you want the more on his rebounds, the more on his assists, you can throw it all in the same lineup. The same thing for football. Drake May, more passing yards, passing attempts, touchdowns. You can throw it in the same lineup. You can mix and match as well. So if you want some Drake May, some Jaylen Brown, some Peyton Pritchard, some, Kayshon Boutte, whatever you want, you can put it in the same lineup on PrizePicks. All you have to do is pick more or less than at least 2 player stats across any sport that's available. If you get your picks right, you could cash in. There's also a new feature on PrizePicks, which is early payouts. If your lineup gets off to a hot start, you may have the option to cash out those winnings before the game even finishes. Download the PrizePicks app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineup after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, it's good to be right. Next thing, Jayson Tatum update. Adam Himmelsbach provided a little tidbit on the Tatum situation, saying 7 months have passed since Tatum ruptured his Achilles tendon during a conference semifinal series against the Knicks, and within the organization, he continues to indicate that he would like to return this season. It probably falls somewhere between possible and likely, but a league source stressed that the team remains several steps away from even considering the decision. Tatum must still reach several mile markers in his recovery before discussions about a return can be considered. And this kind of poured some cold water on the Tatum return stuff. Even though, even if we are talking December, I saw someone point this out on Twitter. I think it was Matt, who's like Marcus Smart on Twitter, point out even if there are several mile markers, people talking about January, that's still like a 6-week time period. That's plenty of time to reach plenty of markers. So I do think it adds some context, but I still don't think a return is unlikely.
I think this reporting came at a very good time for
intentional
all of the
time.
Tatum stuff. Yes, we all see videos and we're like, whoa, would a guy who is not healthy be able to do this? And there is a difference between being healthy and capable of withstanding an NBA season, right? They play games multiple times a week, high intensity stuff, prolonged amount of time on the court, several fast, sharp movements, every trip down the floor. It's not easy to do that for any person. You have to be in elite condition. So even if there's part of this where Tatum's injury is fully healed, but he's not in condition, which does not mean he's not able to run on a treadmill. It means his muscles are not strong enough in the leg yet because he had to stay off of it for so long to get him back to the level where he's explosive or able to use his right leg, right? I think it's the right leg. To the capability he would at his peak, or at least what they hope he can get back to. He's not ready to play yet, if that's not the case. And there's no reason to rush him back if he's not ready, especially in December. Even to be honest with you, if we saw him before the All-Star break, that'd be crazy. And I don't want to come on here and be like, I don't want to see him, because I'd love to have him back, but from a safety standpoint, I actually don't. I don't want to see him before the All-Star break. There's no reason for it. The Celtics, I think, finding their way without him will do a lot of justice for the role players when he does come back. And even shout out to Dan Donabini, and he had a little chat with Blake Griffin, and Blake Griffin kind of talked about this stuff and was like, yeah, you want to be cautious with this. I am pretty skeptical that he's going to be back early. Maybe he'll be back this season. He said that he wants to be back this season, but the way injuries go, you want to make sure you're playing the long game too. If you're ensuring that you can be healthy for years to come rather than just 2 months at the end of this season, you take the years every time.
Yeah, I mean, I've said the same thing since the injury happened. It's gonna be Jayson Tatum. If Jayson Tatum feels the only step in his recovery and the team's comfortable with it and his team's comfortable with it and everything's fine, then let him come back and it's whatever, right? I just think it's all gonna be based on how Tatum feels, what Tatum thinks is best for him. And that's kind of it, right? I think the most important thing is ensuring he's going to get back to, close, if not better than where he was before. As a 5 straight years All NBA first team player, which is top 5 player in the league, an NBA champion, and a guy who can give you 30, 10, and 10 on any given night. And if he feels comfortable that you're 4 straight All NBA first team, I should say, if he feels like he can get back to that point and he's ready to get back on the court, then that's fine. But if there's even the slightest chance that he returns and doesn't, feel like he'll be able to be fine for years, like if there's like a 2% chance that he could, tear his Achilles again, it's not worth coming back. And so I think all of those things will be considered. I think all of those things will be taken into consideration. But I don't know. I think it's not an outrageous time period. Like people are talking about 7 months as if like, oh my God, that's so quick. Drew Smith's back. Drew Smith tore his Achilles. Drew Smith tears Achilles. I think it was December of last year. Yeah, December 24th last year. And he's played in every game for the Heat this season. So that's what, like 10 months, 8 months? Like that's pretty close to where Tatum's at right now. So I don't think it's a completely insane thing to think about. Him being ready to go, and who knows how soon Drew Smith could have returned if it had been a season for him. He played in a basketball game. What is this? Like exactly 10 months after he tore his Achilles, and who knows how early, how much earlier before that he was ready to go. I don't think it's impossible. I don't think it's 100% certain, and I think it's just going to depend on how it's all going to be.
Yeah, I also I forget what the football player's name is, but I saw people sharing stuff of his return, and he like tore his Achilles days after Tatum did, and he's supposed to play this week in the NFL. I'm so sorry. I'm literally talking about something that I know Jack's going to look up and try and find it, and I've given him no information about who this person is. Maybe I'm not making it up. I don't know where I saw it. Maybe I saw it on Celtics Reddit. Maybe I saw it in First Florida Discord. I don't remember exactly where that information found me from, but it's not unfathomable that he would be able to play within the next month or so. But it is, as Jack said, it's up to him. It's up to Jayson Tatum. It's up to how Jayson Tatum feels. It's up to the team's medical staff to determine if he is physically capable, if he has passed the needed thresholds and the different challenges to ensure that he is, in fact, at 100%.
Darius Washington is returning from his Achilles after tearing it May 13th, and he is set to return for week 15, which is this week. So about exactly the same as Jayson Tatum's potential return. Also, Terrell Suggs is somebody that I found. Apparently, he returned 6 months after tearing his Achilles.
Football players are so different, though. Like they'll just play with like the club thing on their hand if they have a broken hand. Like they're just like, all right, like we're balling, doesn't matter. So,
yeah,
a little bit of a different game.
Yeah, 2012, returning about 5.5 months to help the Ravens win the Super Bowl. That's insane. Anyways, last thing before the emails. Fred Katz wrote a great article about offensive rebounding. Now, I'm going to share a little snippet about the Celtics specifically, but I encourage everyone to go over to The Athletic and read it because it is really well put together. But he talks about how the Celtics are playing this year. Joe Mazzulla's offensive rebounding philosophy. It came from like Mike Brown and the Nigerian national team a few years ago that, sparked this sort of analytical offensive rebounding movement around the NBA. Talked about the Celtics. First, they lift for an onslaught of 3-pointers. They turn the ball over less than anyone. Second, and third, a scrappy group devoid of conventional rebounders is devouring offensive boards. The Celtics entered Monday 7th in offensive rebound rate. And before you ask what depraved Boston homer could have seen this coming, the answer is Mazzulla. The science of crashing has haunted the Celtics coach for years. It's just another way to help control the shot margin, Mazzulla said. In July 2021, when Mazzulla was an assistant for Ime Udoka, Celtics used their summer league team to experiment with crashing 3 players per shot attempt, generally considered a no-no at the time. They liked what they saw, and a year later, with Mazzulla stepping in as interim head coach, they took their trials to another level, deploying aggressive crashing strategies with their G League affiliate up in Maine. Maine went even more radical than the summer Celtics did, routinely crashing 4 guys for offensive rebounds, a strategy the squad's head coach Alex Barlow was hesitant to implement at first, with encouragement from a member of the Celtics analytics department, Drew Cannon, as well as from his coaching analytics-focused assistant in the G League, Alex Merg. He changed his mind. Merg, by the way, is now a player dev guy in Boston. He's been there for a couple of years. Barlow said our whole philosophy was let's send everybody and see how it goes. Let's see if the trade-off is net positive, and the outcome was decisive. Maine won rebounding battle after rebounding battle. Skipping ahead now, Merg runs coaching analytics for the Celtics in the NBA, and the team is succeeding with its own version of glass gluttony. The Celtics crash out offensive boards with at least 3 players and 19.1% of their shots, the league's third highest frequency, according to Second Spectrum. There are 6th in the NBA in net chances created, which also factors in their stingy ball security. So this is something the Celtics have been tracking for years, Missoula in particular, and it looks like it is working out for them very, very well.
Yeah, and the numbers will tell you. Obviously, we don't get a Fred Katz deep dive without the numbers. But I mentioned at the top of the show, I was just casually scrolling Twitter today, and I saw a stat that was Boston being 4th in the NBA in offensive rebounds and second chance points created off those rebounds. So what they're doing is clearly working. The possession game has always been like Missoula's top priority, and it's been a big reason why the Celtics, even when they were not shooting the ball well this year, maintained at least like a 500 pace. Like they were a respectable team. Their advanced metrics were still good, even when shots weren't going. It's because they were able to take more shots than the other team. Even when they were at their best the last couple seasons, they were still trying to capitalize on these small margins, which is like you heard us talk about on the show for the entire time. It was just like win the margins, win the margins, win the margins. These are the kind of things they're talking about.
Yeah, the crashing has been incredible. Like, think about how many times the Celtics have won these extra possessions with Jordan Walsh or Namish Kidd or Josh Minot or Peyton Pritchard crashing for offensive rebounds. Like they're sending everybody. And I know like they're not good at defensive rebounding, but they are good at offensive rebounding. So they have to find ways to sort of make up for some of their flaws. And I think this has been great. But like I said, go read the whole article by Fred Katz. It's really really interesting read. He talks about how the Rockets are even like more pushy with how many guys they send for offensive rebounding with Steven Adams and the personnel that they have. So I recommend the read. But all right, emails time. A reminder, as always, you guys can email us at hbtcpod@gmail.com. That is hbtcpod@gmail.com. We have a few today, I believe, 2 from Philip, 1 from Rob. So I'll pull it up here. First one from Philip, thinking Thunder. Fellas, the Thunder are obviously going to hang around for a half decade or more. This has me thinking about Shea because I think the Thunder offense has a ton to do with him. I know he will get a ton of foul calls. So you need capable on-ball defenders, 2 capable on-ball defenders, I should say. He's pretty light in the britches, but super long and fast. You need enough players to stay on him, but also long enough to contest a fadeaway. So my proposed solution is having 2 long, fast defenders to throw at Shea and pressure him with 12 fouls to use. My crazy thing, Walsh and Ugo are both good candidates to guard Shea. They have growing to do, but I mean, in the longer term, do you see these guys being potential to stifle Shea or just 2 more barbecue chickens? Best, Phil. I think, 1, it takes a team. I don't think it's just like on 1 or 2 defenders, but I do think Walsh and Ugo are both built very well to guard Shea and anybody.
Yeah, and there's a part of that. I mean, Jack's right. It's a team thing where you need either those players to fight like hell to get through screens, or you need pretty much a whole team of guys to be able to do it, because the NBA now is less one-on-one. It's more of let's get the matchup we want as the offense and then go one-on-one. You, as the defense, you don't really get to pick who guards the ball handler unless you're doing pre-switches and like all these advanced things. But it's really hard to guarantee that Ugo and Walsh are the 2 guys that will see Shea. With that being said, presumably the guys that they're going to be playing with will be Derek, Jalen, Jayson. So that's 4 of the 5, and then whoever the next center on this team is, or it's Nimi, that have the opportunity to be switched on to Shea. And if that's the case, then you have capable defenders just about everywhere.
Yeah. And more than anything else, Shea is one of those guys who's just impossible to guard. So it's never going to look pretty. Like,
yes,
you'll have guys who can do a good job. But next, JB, come on, man, says Philip. Fellas, after Ratless JB on his pod, he said Scotty Barnes had, quote, extra chromosome strength. Honestly, it felt really off brand and it sucked. No need to disparage a group for an adjective. He was trying to be funny, but it's tasteless humor. Not fun or interesting, just genuinely rat moment for me. Obviously not a bad guy, but damn, come on, JB. I'm sure he would react to other players using pejorative terms around him, but somehow it's okay for him to put it in a pod. Best, Phil. Yeah, I saw it. It wasn't great. Like you said, it was probably just him saying something that he saw on Twitter and repeating it and forgetting where he was, what he was doing, but definitely not a good thing for JP to be saying on the internet or at all, really. Oh.
And there's part of this that's like when he's like trying to build this Twitch thing up, which I don't have a problem with. I think it's cool that he's like willing to go up and like do things like that. not what he said. I think it's cool he's doing streams. But with the streams, I think he feels this pressure to show personality or like be funny, as Phil says. Like he's trying to be funny. He just kind of missed the mark on this. And it's tough. Like if you're trying to like pull out jokes like that and do it live, he missed. Bad miss.
Yeah, but it is what it is.
Surprised he hasn't said anything yet, actually.
Yeah.
And like my bad.
Maybe it's just something it'll just let go. But Rob Vera says mock trades to start the NBA season. Hi folks, to commemorate the start of the NBA season, I thought I'd send in a mock trade and see what you guys think. My goals here are to 1, get the Celtics back up big they sorely need, but only target a big the season been reported to be inquiring about. 2, get below the tax line. Pushing for Brad to make a trade. As IMO, the Celtics badly need a backup big. Josh's performance has been inconsistent lately as he's forced to play out a position as a small ball 5. Having both Simons and Sam around just blocks the development path of Ugo and Baylor. Ideally, once JT returns, only one of Sam, Simons, or Baylor is on the roster. The bet unit looks like this. Pritchard, one of Baylor, Sam, Simons, Ugo, Josh, and a new backup big. Anyway, onto the trade. I'd say I'm an advocate for making trades ASAP so the new pieces build a chemistry and the W's aren't left on the table. Trade, as usual, is legal after December 15th. Recently signed restrictions turned off. Boston gets Day'Ron Sharpe, Zaire Williams gets $3 million below the tax line. Brooklyn gets Simons a 26 second and a 2031 second. Why Boston does it? They get a big. They targeted in the offseason in Day'Ron Sharpe and get below the tax line. Zaire Williams is just there to make the salaries work. It doesn't pan out in Boston. They can not pick up his team option in the offseason. He'll complete for bench wing minutes with Baylor while JT is still out. Why Brooklyn does it? Brooklyn lets Boston use their cap space for second round picks. Simons can be tried out to see if they'd like to partner him with MPJ or sell him off for another asset. The trade is a minimal cost to the Nets as Zaire and Day'Ron aren't playing heavy minutes for the team, 6th and 12th in the rotation respectively, while also being free agents in the offseason team options. What do you guys think? Others may ask me why target Day'Ron Sharpe when Nick Claxton is there. Nick Claxton is for sure a worthy target, but targeting him doesn't get the seasons below the tax line. Even if Hauser is added to the trade, we could get under the tax line in that trade if we send them Tillman as well, but that would require them waiving 2 of their non-guaranteed contracts, Jalen Wilson and Tyrese Martin, to make roster spots work, or sending us one of the non-guaranteed contracts and cutting the other. Happy holidays, Rob version 1.0, and I'll put the trade on the screen here. First off, I don't mind like the whole part of like I would only like one of Simons, Hauser, and Baylor to be on the team. I don't necessarily agree with that, but I understand it. I do think there is some value to having a Hauser and a Simons, but I could see how it could get in the minutes of others. I'm just out on the Hauser hate, and I don't think that's what you're trying to do. I'm just seeing it all over Twitter, so I think it's clouding my thoughts. But as far as this trade, I like this trade a lot. Day'Ron Sharpe, I think, is a quality backup center. Simons in 2 seconds. My only gripe is I worry the Nets just aren't interested. Like I worry they're going to get a better offer to use their cap space. But if it gets down to the deadline and they aren't, getting a first or something to use that cap space or something like that, then maybe they settle on this, and I'd be happy with it.
Yeah, there's really no appeal. Like, there's no long-term appeal with this. Like, if you're Brooklyn, you're probably not going to bring Simons back. That's just the reality of the situation. So you would be giving up on 2 players who are halfway decent. At least Sharpe is. Sharpe has like
Sharpe's fine, yeah.
This year,
Zaire's not really playing.
For 2 second-round picks, and I don't know. You might be able to get more, as Jack said. Like there might be a team out there that has more desperation. Like I don't know, the Cavs can't do it because they're kind of second apron, but there will be teams that are underachieving who feel like they need to maybe move a contract to be able to make more flexible trade. Or maybe Cleveland is a team that would do this actually if they want to avoid the second apron. Now that I think about it. But yeah, I don't know if Simons moves them, but with that being said, if the Celtics are going to get to work, like they're going to have to find some way to get Sharpe. And if they did this in particular, it would be great to get underneath the luxury tax, and it would put a bow on the conversation Jack and I had at the top of the show, where it's like, yeah, the goal would be get a little bit better, but also financial. You get under the tax this year. You only have to stay under it next year, and you reset the luxury tax, repeater tax rather. And that's where the win here is if you're Boston.
Yeah, I don't hate this trade at all. Like if it gets to the point where the Nets are interested in something like this and just taking on seconds to use their cap space, then down, right? I worry that we might not get to that point. But
And as far as
we'll
Sharp
see.
goes,
Maybe they do.
He's somebody who shoots like 28% from three this season. It's not a number that you look at as somebody looking to build trades and you're like, whoa, stretch big. There is some context to playing with the Brooklyn Nets where you're not getting as clean of shots as you may get as a Celtic. Like Luka Garza shot 31, 32 before he got here, and he's made the most of his opportunities, the limited ones he's gotten this season.
Yeah, he's also just not really taking them. Like he doesn't really take threes. It's not really a part of his shot diet. Like Garza's taken 45 3 this year. Sharp's taken 18, and Sharp's played in 4 more games than him. Like Sharp's never taken more than 45 threes in a season, and that was last year, and he made 24%. So I just don't think, like, if I was the Celtics, I would just cut it out of his game completely and let him play.
Yeah, maybe it is the Cornet thing.
But big body, good player. Yeah. I like Sharp. Like I said, I would like this trade a lot. I worry the Nets are going to have better offers to use that cap space, especially with the notion of a Giannis trade floating around and maybe needing to take on cap space and something like that. So we'll see, though. I like the trade idea, certainly, for the Celtics. But NBA section, let's check out how teams are doing around the association, check out the standings, see who is where. You've got the Pistons still sitting in first place in the Eastern Conference with the Knicks right behind them, and I believe the Celtics right behind them, even though they lost the other day. So Pistons in first at 20-5, Knicks at 17-7, Celtics and Magic both at 15-10, but the Celtics slightly edging them out. Sixers, Raptors in 5-6. Raptors have lost 4 in a row, so not great for them. Cavs, Heat, Hawks, Bucks in that play-in tournament range, but the Bulls and Bucks are tied in games back. So that's the 10-11, then Hornets, Nets, Pacers, Wizards rounding it out.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like the middle of the East is going to middle. The Knicks and Pistons, the Pistons in particular, have put a lot of distance between themselves and the rest of the pack, but New York's starting to do it too. If they beat the Magic today, it'll even further distance them. They'll be 3 games up on Boston. And if they lose, they'll be 2 up, and Orlando will move into third. But the bottom of the East continues to bottom. They continue to just be terrible. Indiana, actually, that's not complete. No. Yeah, Brooklyn has actually played well in their last 10. They've won 4-6. Michael Porter Jr. has actually been playing pretty well. Indiana's finding some footing too, just in time to play the Celtics twice next week or in like a week and a half, whenever it is. So I think these teams are going to continue to be bad. Of course, Milwaukee showed up to play the Celtics, but really 10 down is just a bunch of bad. Like Charlotte continues to be bad. They've been bad for years. They feel like they've found some hope with Knipple and Kalkbrenner being good for them so far this season. But I don't know, man. They're a little bit cursed. That's just what it feels like with the Hornets.
You said it, man. They're just bad. They're just really bad. And I don't know when that's going to change or how it's going to change. But yeah, some teams taking some dips around the East. Celtics are still 7-3 in their last 10, despite losing their last one. But you look at this middle of the pack here. Sixers 6-4 in their last 10, still pretty good. But Raptors 4-6, Cavs 5-5, Heat lost 4 in a row, 5-5, Hawks 5-5, Bucks 3-7. Everyone really outside of the top 4, maybe 5. I'll include the Sixers in at 5. They've surged a little bit, but everyone outside of the top 5 in the East is just really in a rut right now.
Little Embiid magic yesterday.
Almost 39 points. Turn back the clock. Philly's a good team. I think they'll stay up here. They're better than I thought they'd be. So
they played somebody who's ass. Stand by. I remember being like, who'd they
the
play
Wizards?
against?
Maybe
I saw it. Sixers, Pacers.
Oh, Pacers have been better lately, though. I'll give them that credit. They've been a little bit better than they were to start the year. But
what is the one weakness of the glaring weakness on Indiana's roster?
Center.
Sure. Embiid said, "I'm lacing them up tonight. Watch this."
Western Conference: Thunder 24-1. Nuggets 18-6, Rockets 16-6, Lakers 17-7, as are the Spurs. Spurs just beat the Lakers in the NBA Cup. 16-9 Wolves. 7-10 is the Suns, Warriors, Grizzlies, Mavs. Warriors who are just really struggling. Then you got the Jazz, Blazers, Kings, Clippers, Pelicans at the bottom, just wasting away.
Fuck, man. Somebody help the Clippers. Like, can the 29 or 28? No, it can be 29. You leave the Thunder owner out. Can they all have a meeting and just like agree to like help them stat pad some wins here just to stay out of the lottery, please? Because they are just spiraling. This OKC draft pick, or I guess OKC's ownership of the Clippers draft pick, is feeling like they just hit the lottery again. They've lucked into another free guy. Like, we started the season kind of like being like, how fun would it be if the Celtics were at the top of the lottery? Like, for that period in the NBA calendar, it would be a lot of fun. It'd be like, whoa, maybe they'll get AJ. The Thunder get to be 24-1 and also be like, whoa, what if we get any of the top guys in this draft? And they can kind of draft in the sense that they don't even have to worry about if the guy's a megastar. It's just like, can he help us win basketball games right now? That's the luxury they have. I know they're playing San Antonio today for the NBA Cup, so they could have lost a game by the time we've done this, but they're on a 16-game win streak. Shea has started to talk about the possibility of breaking the 33-game record of wins in a row in the NBA. They are not even halfway there, but it does not seem like they're slowing down anytime soon. Again, they could lose to San Antonio. San Antonio's been a good team this year. Wemby is back, officially going to be back for the NBA Cup tonight. Cup respecter Wemby. But that OKC team is just an absolute wagon. And
yeah, they are the Thunder are currently on a 79 win pace. So that's the context for you. 78, 79 win pace. Ridiculous. Last NBA thing before we go to the rat list here is a new level of incompetence for the Pelicans. I don't know if you saw this. I'm going to play a clip.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Pull it up.
Yeah. This is a clip from Hollinger and Duncan. John Hollinger talking about the Pelicans trade. So the Pelicans traded their unprotected 26 first-round pick to the Hawks, as well as their pick in the 25 draft to trade up and draft Derek Queen, who's been really good. Give him his credit. I don't want to take this to shit on Derek Queen. He's been awesome, but just take a listen and then I will explain.
That's a question in my mind, right? So I'm really not. I
you
would
hear it?
I might.
Now, one of the things it is, so since we've dumped on Chicago and Phoenix here, one of the things I've been told about this trade is that New Orleans didn't even understand what it was trading, and that Atlanta had in its front office, because Atlanta had Bryson Graham in their front office, who had just come from New Orleans.
I mean, that's ridiculous.
So
he
understood right away what was being traded.
I mean, I've got it written down on my spreadsheet here. How could you not understand that? I knew what pick it was immediately. I don't work for a team. I should come on.
That is a fair critique. You're sitting there on draft night. There's 5 minutes between picks. You're literally like, I've been there. Like, I'm literally staring at my spreadsheet with the picks. So yeah, I would be in that same situation. Like, oh my God, is this are you saying this is this pick? Can you repeat this again? Is it this pick? But Chicago and Phoenix. Okay.
So what this is saying is when I believe when the Pelicans traded their 25 pick and their 26 pick to move up to take Queen, they didn't really understand what was happening. And a former member of the Pelicans front office who was in Atlanta knew exactly what was happening. He was like, oh, yeah, this works for us.
They didn't know what was happening in the sense that they didn't think it would be this bad. Is that what this is? I don't get it. Like, how do you not know?
I think they didn't understand like how much. Like, I don't even know. Like, I think they didn't understand what pick they were giving up, like the level of what they were giving up. But I don't understand how you fuck that up. Like, I don't understand the level of incompetence a front office has to have to accidentally give up their unprotected first the next year. Like that's crazy.
The person on the other end of the phone is like, wait, you're sure? Like, you're going to do this?
Yeah, literally.
Like, yeah. And they're like, oh, all right, like, we'll send in the league office. Like, that's what I'm envisioning in my head. I don't understand. Like, this doesn't make sense. It's not like, this would actually make more sense if Atlanta. So, like, let's say New Orleans has like a brand new front office, which I'm not sure was entirely true. I know Dumars had just come in.
They have I think it's largely due.
Okay. That would make more sense if it was Dumars coming in and the former Pelicans front office guy being in Atlanta's front office, if they were getting a player. Like, if this was like Dyson Daniels going from New Orleans to the Hawks, and Atlanta was like the front officeman in Atlanta was like, no, this guy's nasty. We know he's nasty. Believe me, he's nasty. And Joe Dumars doesn't really have that much familiarity with the situation yet, and they get swindled. But like, it's a draft pick. All you have to do is like take a step back, pull up the NBA standings, and just be like, are we better than this team? Are we better than the Thunder? No. Nuggets? No. Lakers? No. Clippers? Well, actually, no, they're not. But we would have definitely said.
What's worse is the trade.
Going.
The pick they traded is a swap, which is the most favorable of the Bucks and the Pelicans and them. So even if they were good, like Milwaukee still had a really good chance to be terrible. like it was a 26 most favorable of Milwaukee or New Orleans. That's what they gave
that though.
What?
Maybe they felt still a bad trade. Maybe they felt like even if their season went to shit, they would get at least one of their or Milwaukee's bad picks. Like they were guaranteed.
But they traded it.
They traded
the pick that is the swap. They traded that pick. So this is what probably happened in the front office. The swap.
Don't exactly. Me into this.
Pelican, the pick. So this is the pick from the Drew Holiday trade. The Pelicans got the option to swap. They traded that option away. They said, "Here you go, Atlanta." So now Atlanta has the option to swap between New Orleans and Milwaukee.
And the least favorable goes to Milwaukee.
Yes, and the Pelicans get nothing.
That's
exactly. This is probably what happened. This is what
Wasn't
happened.
That a good exercise we just did?
Yeah. Exactly.
You're welcome,
maybe they thought they're like, okay, they'll get the best. Like maybe they thought they would get the less bad of it, both of them, and just forgot that Milwaukee still had a right to the pick. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe thought they were trading a swap.
That's definitely what they thought, because that's what I thought. Exactly. I was like, oh, that's actually not that bad. Like they have like a little safety net.
Exactly. So, and how hilarious is that? How fucking ridiculous is if they accidentally did that?
I'm good at doing the podcast, and I'm good at what we do. I should not be in the front office. So, just for perspective, if the people in the Pelicans front office are doing the same thing that I'm doing, that's bad. Like fire everybody. It needs to be just Thanos snap the front office.
Yeah, it's bad. That's really bad. So bad. Yeah, they probably thought like, oh, like Bucks will probably be bad. We might not be great, so we'll still probably have a top 10 pick. And now they don't have.
That's like when I had my dream last week that I bought the stock and it just went up exponentially, and I woke up. Like they're like, oh, like, and I kept waking up with my dream, and I was like, nah, I'm good. Like I keep checking. Like I'm not dreaming.
So bad. All right. Rat list, Sam, what do you got?
Rat list. We'll kick it to the other rat list.
Okay.
Not children friendly. All right. So it's not, you listen to it at work, you're fine. Just don't listen to it with your kids.
Yeah.
All right. So we're here. A very special rat list, very special guest today. Kaylin is here.
Hi.
Kaylin and I were driving home yesterday from we went to dinner, and we were having a discussion about one of Jack's favorite things, Christmas. We were talking about Christmas. And I was sharing a Christmas memory where I was like, when I was a kid, my parents or Santa had brought me a video game. The video game was for GameCube. I did not have GameCube. And so I was like, oh, and my whatever 6-7-year-old brain was like, oh, I bet the actual gift fell out of the sleigh. Like there's probably a GameCube that was coming with this to make it work. And then you said,
I said, oh, you're a Santa kid?
Oh, you were a Santa kid. Now you can tell by Jack's face that Jack was just as confused as I was.
Not everyone did Santa.
So care to explain?
Anyway, so in my family, we didn't really do Santa. My parents said that because of the spirit of Christmas, they said that Jesus provided the resources for them to buy us gifts, and the gifts came from my parents. So I don't know. My dad's a pastor for reference. So for us, it made a lot of sense. Yeah.
But you ridiculed me,
Well-
and you acted as if I was a freak because I had
Because you believed in Santa?
because I was raised believing in Santa.
Until you were like 10 or 11, like
That's
way
normal.
too old.
Isn't
No.
that how long did you believe in Santa?
That's
Jack.
around there, like 10,
Really?
11, 12.
And
Yeah,
then,
yeah.
And then what? Did you organically figure out that Santa's not real?
Did
Now
Yeah.
we should before this.
Warning.
Yeah,
For
warning
any
because
of the adults
there
that think Santa's
have
real.
been some dads in the
I
comments
hope
recently
there
being
aren't-
like, I watched this with my son.
No.
So
On
You
the
guys
TV.
use
Well, they
too much-
watch on the TV.
okay.
You guys use language that I wouldn't think you had kids listening, but
That's what
I
the
don't think we
comments
do.
say.
Our demographics does not have kids.
It's not
listening,
meant
so
to be
we-
kids.
Sorry,
Yeah, it's
sorry
not
to
for
all the
kids.
kids. Santa isn't real. I don't know. we
There's a
were
little.
just-
There's a little box
Go
on
ahead.
YouTube you can click where it's like content for kids and never click it. So hopefully we do not have kids listening to this.
We
But-
just weren't about some like old white man breaking into everybody's house, leaving kids gifts. It didn't make more sense than your parents buying you the gifts, you know?
I couldn't believe that you were like, that's crazy. Like you were a Santa kid. Like you act like you use Santa kid derogatory.
No, I did not. I did not. It was normal for me, my sisters, even some of my friends you saw. Not everybody did Santa.
You had one friend that was like, we didn't do
Yeah,
Santa.
exactly. They said it was
Everybody
their
else
parents.
was like, yeah, of course we did Santa.
Meh. Well, you have to find out at some point, and then you have like full grown adults being like, I was so betrayed when I found out it wasn't real. Like that, we just avoided all that.
No, we were definitely Santa kids. My mom never told us he wasn't real. We just had to find out. She just loves Christmas, and so we kind of always like we all figured it out around the same age. Sam was saying, but then we kind of like humored her for a few more years because we knew we didn't want to
That's
make her
nice.
sad. But
That's
no,
nice.
definitely Santa kids growing up for sure. And you know what's funny is there was definitely some Christmases where Henry or I opened up like an Xbox game or something, but we didn't have one. But then we just opened up we just opened the presents in the wrong order. Like we we got the Xbox and the game. So that is also what happened. So Santa just got you a GameCube game without a GameCube that year?
Correct.
What do you
Yeah.
do with the game?
We just brought it back and exchanged it. But yeah, I was just met with ridicule. Like
So-
when she said this to me, like my mind was blown.
So wait,
I was like, there are people out there that celebrate this without Santa.
yes, literally. So
Well,
did your
my
parents just say
mom-
Santa messed up?
They went along there. Like I guess like it
Santa
got
brought-
lost
Santa
and we can't
brought
find the GameCube. It fell.
The
in
reindeers like shook the sleigh and it fell out
yeah.
over
And
Japan.
Another
Oh, no.
another part of this was she was like, how are you dumb enough as a kid to believe in that?
I didn't say
yeah,
that. I
that
didn't
is
say
that is basically what you said.
I said at 10 years old though, you should have like all your brain cells.
No,
Enough of 'em.
you were like, I would have never believed that.
Well,
man
if
would
you
bring us
were-
gifts like that,
If you are raised for 10 years to believe in one thing, of course you're believing one thing. What else do you have
kids
to
are
believe? Like, how do you not?
impressionable.
So were you guys going to school arguing with the kids that said Santa's not real and you were like defending him down like, oh yeah, that man's real. Like he really visits everybody in the world.
At 10 years old, I would say it was at least 50-50 of people
Mhm.
who believed and didn't.
Wow.
So it was not like it was hard pressed to find other kids who didn't believe. But yeah, I feel like it was around like end of elementary school, start of middle school. So like right around that time where it was
Yeah.
like, all right, this is it. Yeah.
Middle school? Oh my gosh.
Middle
I
school's like
think
12,
middle
yeah.
school, you're kind of done.
Wow.
You're done believing in it, and it would be.
Like 4th, 5th, 6th grade is
I
Yeah,
thought this was
right,
like
yeah.
5 or 6 years old. Like once you stop having
No.
imaginary friends type thing. I mean, mind you, we did do the tooth fairy for at least a while.
Yeah, you did the tooth fairy, and you were like, "We no," but like your whole argument is like my parents wouldn't want to
Up
lie to
until a
us.
certain age. Yeah, no, my mom did lie. She said she went to school with the tooth fairy. So she one time forgot and then wrote her a letter and was like, oh, I know her personally. It's going to be fine. And I was like, okay, thanks.
wow.
But
But
no,
that
you
teaches-
would never be dumb enough to
but that-
believe in Santa.
But that teaches financial management. And Santa just teaches that Christmas is about gifts, right? I thought that was valid.
Well, anyways, my mind was blown, and like when this was revealed to me, it was like the kind of news you have to like call.
He
somebody.
did actually call
like
someone.
I'm like I have to call somebody. I wanted to call you, but I didn't want you to have the message here spoiled before we did it on camera. But I called my friend Ray, and he was just as like dumbfounded as me.
Yeah, that I
Not
don't know.
nearly, though, as much
Well,
as
Meg,
you.
his fiance was.
Wow.
She couldn't believe it.
Yeah, I've never heard of that. I mean, I get it. I understand like why. Like it makes sense now that it's presented to me in a certain way. But yeah, I'll need to ask Michaela because I'm curious to see what she did.
Yeah,
Because
see
I
if
don't
she was
actually
a
know.
Santa kid.
I think she did Santa. Maybe I'm just assuming. Like I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know
sometimes
what
you
exactly
assume
talking
and you
about.
get 2.5 years in, and then it's just like, wait, you are a Santa kid? What's wrong with you? Like I have the plague.
Wow. Interesting. Okay. That's
All right.
yeah.
Well, we can wrap this unless you have any other thoughts.
I don't have any rat lists. No, we can throw this at the end of our other rat list that we do or whatever. But no, I was definitely a Santa kid. My mom loved Christmas so much that I had Santa gifts and parent gifts. So I got gifts from her
Makes
and
sense.
from Santa. And
Yeah,
then when
that's
my
how we
parents
did
got
it.
divorced, I got gifts from
Then
both
you
parents
cleaned
and
up.
from Santa. I got 3 Christmases. How
That's
about
not
that?
bad. That's
Oh,
not
and at
bad.
that point, I was like 12, 13. So I didn't even know if I was bleeding anymore, but I still got the payout.
That's fair.
I just feel like being as big in you are.
I was not going to get double the gifts, though.
No.
The reality is I was going to get
That's not
the
where I was
same amount
going.
of gifts. Well, okay, go ahead. Fine.
You're a big Christmas person because of
Yeah.
religion, but you are still a big Christmas spirit person.
Correct.
And I cannot believe that you would just shoot down Santa in the way that you did. Like you hate Santa's an op to you.
That's not necessarily true. I'm just not like, oh
described
yay,
Santa
Santa.
as
Well, I do
stealing the
think no.
holiday
First
as
of all,
if he's the Grinch.
first of all, I do think it's a little strange that people are willing to bring their children to go sit on some random white man's lap in the mall and pay him money for that. Like what? That's not a little
I don't
weird,
think I did Santa very many
objectively?
times.
Hmm.
Did Santa go to your school? Did they bring Santa to the school?
I don't think Santa came to my school.
I'm trying to think.
Maybe.
If they did.
I mean, long time ago now, but not that I remember Santa coming to my school.
So what?
I don't think so.
I don't know. You could I don't know. Maybe one of the teachers would dress up.
You could what? Oh,
It was just like part of like the Christmas spirit. Like you would like see Santa, it would never go nuts.
I don't think Santa
Alright.
came to my school.
Well, anyways, we can wrap it up there.
All right. Sounds good. And now, okay, you can go ahead. We can move on. You can go.
Okay. I'm gonna change the background.
I got it.
All right. Rat list is we played basketball yesterday. Me, Jack, Bobby, Kay, Noah, several media people. Justin Turpin.
Justin.
Was there. I have scratches everywhere. I got a scratch here. I got a scratch. Let's see. I'm having trouble doing like camera. I have a scratch right here.
I see it.
I have a scratch on my upper arm. I in this one in particular on my wrist is annoying as shit because like I'll like touch it or like I do things with my wrist, so I feel it pretty often. I don't know how the hell I got mauled like this. This is how Jokic must feel every time he plays.
Who was fouling you?
I don't know.
You have any idea? No.
No, I just kind of like left. Like I came down the floor one time and looked down and I was bleeding from my wrist. And then like I had been sick last week, so my face has been doing weird things. Like I was running on the treadmill on Tuesday and my like around my mouth was just like dry, so it was like burning a little bit from the sweat. And I felt the stinging where I got scratched on my face. And I was like, oh, like that weird thing must be happening again. Apparently I just got sliced on my brow. Not my finest performance yesterday. I was pretty upset. I was like a little nervous.
I was mad
because Jay King was there. Jay's like a good basketball player, and I was like, I want to make a good impression on Jay, and I definitely I was on Jay's team.
You did. You made a good impression still. You
I
can
did
tell.
all right.
I that was the most mad I've been after a basketball game in a long time. I was so mad. I played
Which
so
one?
bad. All of them. I
just
played
in
shit
general
all day.
after the run.
And I was so mad. I couldn't make a shot. I was scuffing layups. I had to I was guarding you, but I was being guarded by Justin, so I was like mismatched. So I had to go against him and then run out to get you and then get back. It was like a lot, and I struggled to keep up. But I'll ratless Justin, that motherfucker, because he is fine on defense sometimes. He'll hustle, whatever. But when he guards me, he face guards me. So he won't let me go set a screen. He'll pick me up half court. He doesn't do that for anybody else. And he just decided to be a fucking nuisance. and it worked. It fucking worked. It pissed me off, and it was annoying because and then whenever I did like my team was like, oh, go post them up, which I can do. I just need a couple seconds. But by the time I get the ball, you or Nick or somebody, Nick, who another guy we play with, or somebody else is just coming over to double. And then I have no time to do anything. And then I have to go out and get you in transition on the other end, or Nick in transition who was sprinting. It was just like, it was hell. It was a hellscape. It was my least favorite day of basketball I've played in a long time.
Yeah, I was in hell a little bit too. I was playing, I was picking up Trevor Haas, Celtics blog, Boston Globe.
He's a motherfucker.
Trevor will shoot the ball as soon as he gets across half court, and he runs off screens and stuff. And like, if there's one thing that I'm going to come on here and say I did a good job of is like I blew up every screen. Like I didn't really get caught on screens and stuff, but I was going through like 3 screens at a time. I did not have legs to play offense.
It sucks.
Like
it sucks.
I just used it all on defense, and I'm in like pretty good shape too. And that doesn't happen to me.
I was pretty bad at the
man.
teams. You, Jay, and Nick on the same team, like ridiculous. That's
I don't know,
ridiculous.
When we first of all, the first game we played, it was Jay and I on the same team. And I was like, how did this happen? Because we didn't shoot for teams. They picked the teams. And I was like, how did this come together? And then we lost. And I was like, well, shit, what do I know?
But then once the shooting variance ended, like Trevor and Jaren were hot.
It was the Celtics season.
We were done. Yes, we were done. As soon as those shots stopped going in, it was over. And then they're like, go post up. I'm like, dude, you guys have me guarding the 2 fastest guys on the floor. Now you want me to post up for an entire possession? Like, do you know how exhausting that is? I was cooked.
I literally got home yesterday. I drove, for some reason, every time we play basketball, there's just traffic, like random time of day for there to be traffic coming home. Always mad traffic. So I get out of my car and I'm like, damn. So I just came home and just sat. Like Jack and I must have been home, both of us, for like, I don't know, a couple hours. And I was like, hey, if you want to record, we can go. I just needed
I was dead.
to just cool off, turn off. My body was so tired. I felt okay today. I did my regular workout stuff, and I'll play a men's league game tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm not too bad today. There's like random parts of my body that hurt for no reason. Like my left bicep is just in pain for no reason, right? Like my like, I don't even know what else. Like I have a scratch on my wrist. I think this is from Monday though. Like I just have random parts of my back hurts a little bit. My like lower back in one spot. It's just very random.
Awful.
Like I'm like aching a little bit.
I think that's part of getting older is you just randomly have stuff. like me. Yeah. By the way, I learned this week, because I was like, I forget who. Oh, I said one of the dudes I play basketball with, like we call him Unk. And Kaylin was like, like that doesn't mean what you think it means. And I was like, what? And she was like, yeah, like when kids started saying Unk, they were saying uncool, not uncle. And I was like, that's fucked because like
I don't think that's true.
Well, I think we've all just adopted it to mean uncle, but originally it was meant to just mean uncool. And that's actually like really mean. Who's doing that? Like that's so hurtful.
I don't think she's right.
I hope she's wrong because Unk is
think
one
she's
of
wrong.
my favorite terms.
Okay, I see. Oh my God, Unk means uncool. I thought I meant uncle. Like you're carrying the energy of someone who reads uncle. This is one single Instagram post I see this on, and every comment is it's uncle. This is
we gotta get her off there. I've been saying for nothing good comes of her being on Instagram. It's either activities I don't want to do that she sees, and we have the Christmas thing or this, and now she's telling me uncool is actually Unk. Instagram's dangerous. Nobody should be on Instagram. Instagram's
on
a terrible
Twitter,
place to get news.
On Twitter, I see Unk meaning uncle instead of uncool is funnier, so I'm just gonna keep thinking that. And then his first reply: "I've been bamboozled by fools. It does mean uncle. Shut up, idiots." It does mean uncle.
Yeah.
It for sure means uncle.
Did we just get got for like 3 minutes?
I didn't get got.
I did. I was like, shit, everyone's just adopted it to mean uncle. So like, that's cool. I'm with that.
You got gaslit, bro. I was at Thanksgiving. I don't know if I told the story on here. I'm the oldest of my cousins and like all my cousins, the oldest of my whole family of like my generation. And I was at Thanksgiving and one of my cousins is like 14, I think. And he called me Unk. And I was like, we're not doing this. I was like, fuck no. And my sister's like 22. and my brother's like 24. And so I went up to him. I'm like, okay. His name's Gus. I was like, okay, Gus, when does Unc start then? Because I was like trying to get him like to call her Unc too. And he goes deadpan in my face, however old you are. I was like, I walked away. I was like, all right.
I feel like Henry's actually more Unc than you.
I'm kidding. He is more Unc than me. But I had to walk out of the conversation. I was like, shit, man. I can't hang with these motherfuckers right now.
I got called up at a pickup run like a month ago. I think I talked about this. The two kids that are in high school come run with us. They're good players. One of them plays on the varsity team at one of the better schools in the state. And they were like, "How old are you?" Just like how it went for you, right? Like, they're like, "How old are you?" And I was like 27. They were like, "You're an Unc." And I was like, I feel like I can't be an Unc if you had to ask how old I was. Like, if I wasn't obviously old enough to be Unc, then I shouldn't be Unc. That's just like. If you look at, I'm the same person that I went to get a coffee like last year, and I went in the place and someone was like, "Shouldn't you be in school?" Like, I can't be Unc and also should still be in school. Pick one.
I agree. I agree with you. But alas,
other rat list is
yeah.
So Kaylin is away. She's doing more interview stuff for her schooling, and I have this like immense pressure where I'm like, I need to do absolutely nothing. Because I don't always get to do like the stars have aligned where there are not a lot of Celtics games. They're like, I don't have activities being set up for me that I do appreciate because we always have a great time together, as you saw on the show here. And I'm just like, oh, I actually would like to like kind of see my friends, but I don't get to just sit here and be left alone ever.
Yeah,
so I don't think I'm gonna go. And like, it sucks because today's Saturday, so the John Cena thing's happening. Like, John Cena's going to wrestle for the last time. And I'm probably going to watch it. I half want to go join my friends, but I half want to stay home and just be left to my own. Like, I eat whatever I want. I don't get to talk to anybody.
Yeah. It's nice. It's a nice feeling just to get to veg out and do nothing. That's what I've been doing for the past like week.
Yeah. See, you just get left alone. It's fire.
It's nice. I don't really have anything else. I think that's about it for me.
I feel like I had an encounter that I was upset with, but I don't remember it.
I've got to wake up early tomorrow, but I'm excited. I'm going to the Pats game. Will be fun. But
you have a busy day tomorrow. Are you just missing practice?
Yeah. Oh, they canceled practice tomorrow. No Celtics practice on Sunday.
Well, that's a little benefit for you.
I know, so I won't miss anything. But yeah, that's all I got. You got anything else?
No. Nothing else from me.
You're up there then. So.
Anti-rat list to the Spurs, and they took care of business. Magic, what do you have for me?
We'll see. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Leave a like, subscribe. I'll let Sam take it out.
Hey, yo, thank you very much for listening and watching. Make sure you leave a like, comment, subscribe. Did you do Santa as a kid? Tell us. We would love to know. Could we like censor the comments though, so kids don't see like the dissection of did you do Santa or no? But subscribe to the channel. We are here every single day. Full pods drop Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday. Game recaps are up the morning after each game. Other videos are here in between to keep you up to date with all things Celtics. You can find the two of us on Spotify and Apple too. All pods and recaps are there. So if you just want those followed, they'll go right to your feed. Leave a 5-star review. We'd appreciate that very, very much. You can email us, hbtcpod@gmail.com. Big shout out to Phil and Rob version 1.0 for sending them in today. We do appreciate you guys. It's great for content, and we love the engagement. So always keep them coming, hbtcpod@gmail.com. Our socials are at How About Them C's for Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Facebook's the name of the podcast. All live streams are on Facebook. They're on YouTube. You can find the information on the Twitter with the start time, the little graphic, and who the special guest will be that day. Jack's Twitter is Jackson NBA. Mine's at Sam LaFrance NBA. That's it for us. Bye.
Taco, come on. Taco.